And so what I have here is I have the worms that I've been cultivating for maybe 8 weeks, just feeding them until I could get them here. And then I have some soil in the bottom. I have to be fast, the sun is going down. And then I just do some straw because the straw will soak up the liquid. And then just to absorb some of the moisture. And I'll probably put in some sand. And then in goes some of that sand nutrient they need, and so I'll layer it up, and then I'll put the worms on top from this box that I have, and I've protected them, the upper part, with straw to keep them warm and keep out the light. And then I've been feeding them bananas. They love bananas, and I've been feeding them. Where are my worms? It's pretty cold, so they've gone down a layer. I've been feeding them greens and just those herbs and bananas and just things that worms like. You have to do research. And so, well, there they are hiding all down below. But once I bury the worm bin in the soil, it'll be better, because the soil and then the straw will keep it warmer than just being in a box. Where are they? Oh yeah, they're just all. They mostly hide where the bananas are or where there's a lot of green. And so I'll just split this box in two now, into two of these, and one will be, I'll show, I hope I can show before the sun goes down, in one area that has no worms, and then into another area, two small bricked in side areas in the garden. Where I can then introduce worms into soil, because there's just not any worms, and this is why I'm doing this. And there is the worm bin buried in the soil and surrounded by straw, and the lid, then you can take the lid on off and feed. I've done that to keep them warm, but later they can be fed if needed, but they'll also go out and feed now in the general area. But I do this because I potentially want to see if they'll come back into this area, and I can create some garden compost. And so that's with the turmeric, the ginger and the garlic. And that's a 2020, January 2020 garden experiment, to see what happens. You can see this is why I'm doing it, because it's just a small side area of earth with just a low brick barrier, and the wall behind, and there's just nothing in there. The soil that I have, I built up myself. This is what I've built myself over this rich soil, Strawbale and plant material and the plant roots and the mycorrhiza over 3 years. And so I ordered some worms, and I have to do the second one quickly before the sun sets. And this is also why I only put the holes in the bottom and kind of halfway up, maybe not even halfway, because it gets buried and you're going to be putting food. I have filled up to the top to keep them warm because it's now January 4, 2020, and so it's pretty cold. But later, when you put the scraps in, you don't want the worms coming out the holes above the surface. So probably maybe 1/3 to half of the way up, and then the holes in the bottom, and the worms can then increase their population and come and go. And if you put food, the plant material and the bananas and things in there, they'll come in and they'll digest it. But and also you don't want to have the cold and also heat in the top area, so the hole should be just under the soil, and the rest is for you to put, just add the plant materials and cultivate worms for the soil. It's my garlic. It worked at last. I put sand in. So this is my garlic bed, and the first time the garlic has worked. And I planted that at the end of the year 2019, I think October, November 2019. And now it's the beginning of January 2020, and the garlic is looking good. It's the first time it's actually worked.